Well, here's today's project. It's one of these little Chinese kids four-wheelers here. And it's probably about 3 years old or so. Gets pretty well taken care of. So the other day, customer brought it to me, and what happened was they were riding it around and it just quit and it wouldn't start. So I think here's the problem right here. Try to show you. Listen to this. So it's basically got no compression, and I looked under it and there's 4 bolts right here that hold the head on, and then there's a couple down there. Well, the one of them, the threads stripped right out and the nut came off, so I think it's pretty evident that the head gasket blew out of it. But I guess this thing's been making a knocking noise for a while too. So well, the first thing I did was ordered a head gasket for it, and that actually came in. So there's the new head gasket. But I think instead of putting a new head gasket in, we're just going to go a different route. So ended up buying a brand new engine for it. That's the cheaper way out, actually. The price on the new engine was so cheap it wasn't even worth messing with the head gasket. So that's got all the bolts in it. So I guess we'll have to start getting it tore apart. I'm just going to take all the plastic right off of it, because that motor is pretty tight in there, and it looks like once I take all the plastic off, it'll come right out. So it should be a pretty straightforward job. So we'll start getting her apart. Oh, there's the reason the head gasket blew out. Check this out. I just unbolted this, so we'll get this out of here. There we go. That's the reason the head gasket blew out. Somebody put a huge turbo in this thing, and it must have been way over boosting it. So we'll leave this turbo out when we put the new motor in. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is why the head gasket blew. So let's go get rid of this. Alright, well, I got everything all taken apart. It looks like it'd be a real pain in the ass to try to get this whole green plastic thing off without taking the handlebars and all these wires and the key switch. So I just spun it around for now. It looks like I got tons of room in there, so I'm not gonna make this project anymore difficult than it needs to be because it's already one of the, I'd say probably one of the simplest engine jobs I've ever done. So let's go ahead and get this thing yanked out now and see what we got. I don't think I'll need the skid steer to lift this engine out. I should pull it out with the skid steer anyway, just to make the video more interesting then. You guys will probably think I'm an idiot for doing that. Here she is. And she's... Oh, I forgot something. I forgot to unbolt the exhaust. No. Alright, let's get the exhaust unbolted. I completely forgot about that because it's on the bottom. Out of sight, out of mind. Alright, there's the exhaust. Okay, now we can get the engine out, hopefully. Let's try it again. It does have a little bit of weight to it. We'll say that. I got a pry bar. There we go. What else? Oh, spark plug wire. That's right, it's got an external coil on it. I'm used to the older engines where the plug wire runs off the magneto. Alright, I think we got everything now. Looks like we have everything, so. There we go. There she is. There's the old one. And here's the new one. They look pretty similar. I mean, you know, they look the same, hopefully. So, I'm just gonna take a few minutes and inspect and make sure. Might as well make sure everything's good down here, like no cracks in the frame. If the frame had any cracks or anything like that, I think now would be the time to fix it. Clean that oil and stuff off. So I get back when we get ready to put the new engine in and everything's all prepped. Alright, so I got the frame all wiped down, nice spick and span, no cracks. Didn't think there'd be any, but I'm gonna have to let the customer know that this idler pulley here is pretty chewed up. I mean, I'm sure it's not that big of a deal, but it should probably be replaced because that's supposed to be smooth. Other than that, everything looks pretty good under here. So usually when I put a motor in, I like to do something that gives it like 400 more horsepower, and it's a real simple trick. I'll show you guys. All you do is this. So you just take a sticker like this and you put it on there. All right, pay attention here. Those of you that watch my engine build video know that I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve. Whoops. Alright, so after the sticker's on there, this is what you do. You just write something on there. You write 6NZ on it. 6NZ. And that'll give it like probably 800 more horsepower. So that's a simple trick. That's all it takes. You truck guys that watch my channel know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's all you do. You just write that on there and this thing will be a beast. So anyway, all jokes aside, let's get this engine in here and go grab our C15 and we'll put it in here. It's a small engine, but I tell you what, it's got some weight behind it. For like, it's heavier than what it looks like. There's one. Yeah, plugs look the same. That's good. Let's go up here. Yeah, looks like everything's the same. Actually, maybe it's not the same. Yeah, the plugs are different actually. So I'm gonna have to do some research on these plugs. Looks like this one's the same. This one here is different. Yeah, I'm gonna have a problem here. I'm gonna have to do some research on these plugs. So before I go any further, I'm gonna figure that out. Alright, so it's been about a day since this motor's been in here. Stupid move on my part. I just looked at the plugs quick when the motor was on the bench, and then when I went to plug them in, you could see that plug from the four-wheeler and then this plug from the motor are completely different. So I should have picked up on that before I put the motor in, but oh well, it is what it is. This plug here fits. This one here, the colors are all the same, just the plug is different. So I got the go-ahead from the customer. They gave me the go-ahead to cut these off right here and then take this plug, you can see the plug's completely different, and then splice all the colors back in with that one because they're the same color. So we're thinking that all the wires do the same thing, just the plugs are different. Well, here goes nothing. It's always a bad feeling when you have to do this, when you have to cut something on a brand new thing. So let's cut this off and see if I can get it fixed the right way. It's all over but the crying now. Alright. Put these heat shrink tubes on this thing. Try to keep it dry. I'm gonna try soldering these wires. Soldering has never really been a thing that I've been super good at. It's one of those things I don't have enough practice. I don't do it that often. So I'm not really 100% sure what I'm doing. Welding, I can weld anything, be confident, but soldering, it seems like every time I try to solder something I get frustrated because I screw it up. So, I don't know. If nothing else, we'll just twist them together and put these on there. I'm thinking I'll put this big one over top of the whole thing once it's done. Alright. The only one that's different on this is all the other colors are exactly the same except this one's black with a red stripe and this one's completely red. So I'm assuming it's the same, but I don't know for sure. Now let's try to solder this. Put some solder on there, I don't know. See if we can get a good laugh here. I see usually when people solder they put some on the tip first and then it like melts on the wire. Hang on, I gotta take this out of here. I gotta take this out of this thing. Or something. So I actually have some control. Everything's just like bouncing around here. Could just weld it with 7018. That'll probably hold. I don't know. Ah, look at that. It actually worked. Wow. Check that out. Actually came out good. Maybe it's not that hard. I'm thinking at least with the solder it'll prevent the wires from getting pulled apart if something gets yanked. Just put that over there and see if we can melt something now. Not too bad. Let's try another one. Let's see if I can do this one just as good as I did the first one. Probably not. The first one will just get me cocky and then I'll think that I'm good at it. Alright, let's try this again. Huh. Another came out good too. I can't complain about that. Hopefully after all this effort I'm putting into this thing, trying to do it right, it'll, these wires, this will actually be the right thing to do. Because it's a big unknown about these wires, if this is actually going to work or not. I'm just kind of taking a shot in the dark here. Couldn't really find any wiring diagrams or anything for this four-wheeler. So I don't know why they gotta do stuff like this. They just can't make everything the same. Well, there's two of them done. Actually looks nice. So I'm not gonna make you guys suffer and watch me do the whole entire thing. So I'll get back when these are all soldered up and plugged in, and I think I'm gonna do a test fire on this motor just because of this before I put everything else together. I'm just gonna put the carburetor on and just a minimum and try to at least get it to pop and run a little bit. And if it does that, then I know it's fine, because I hate to do all of this, put the whole thing back together and find out this wasn't the solution, and then have to, you know, figure out plan B. So I'll do this. I'll throw the carburetor on, and I think that'll be enough for a test fire. So let's get that done. Doggy came and said hello. Say hi. Hey, puppies. Hey, Sai. Say hi. Wondering where her ball is. Anyway. Alright, so I got all the wires on and everything. So the next step is getting this carburetor on. Keep going with that. Thinking after the carburetor is on, that should be enough to at least try to test fire it. I got all the, everything else is all hooked up. Plugs. Those two plugs were pretty much the only thing. That and just the wire for the starter solenoid. So I got those on. Let me grab the carburetor. Here's the carburetor. A little O-ring gasket for it. Looks like it goes that way. Oops. And throttle linkage. Actually, I probably should have put that in first. Yeah, we're gonna have to take this off because I can't see what way that goes. Don't make fun of me too bad. I'm by no means a small engine mechanic. Oh, okay, it goes in completely different than what I thought. There we go. I don't work on four-wheelers that much. I've only owned one my entire life. I mean, mechanical stuff's pretty much all basic once you figure it out, but everything has its different things. Alright, let's try this again. There's like a little slot in there. That cylinder valve thing has to go in there just right. I'll try to get the information from the owner of this four-wheeler, where she got the engine from, and I'll try to put a link in the description or something like that. That way, if anyone's watching this and has this trouble, they know kind of what to expect on this particular machine. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I get the website that the customer ordered the motor from, and I'll put that because I think that'll help. I think that'll make it even more educational. Alright, so now we got this PCV valve hose, whatever thing. Alright, that's on. Okay, now we gotta hook the gas line back up. So that went right here. Let's get that on. And the gas line went right there. I believe. Yeah, that went in there. Let's get something to tighten that up. There. Guess you ain't gotta go ape shit on that bolt. Alright, everything's all hooked up. The spark plug. If you can see through that hole. Let's get the spark plug put back on. That's in. And the only other thing I have to do is hook the battery up. So once the battery's hooked back up, what else? Just throw this back over now. That. Put the key in it. It says it's a neutral. Let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, that definitely has a lot more compression. Yeah, let's bring you over here. That way if a rod or something flies out, you'll be the first one to see it. Now let's put the choke on and see what happens. She lives. All right. Well, she started up pretty good. We know she runs now. Might as well put the rest of it back together. Okay. I guess we'll get the chain on. Woo. Come on. Hey, come on. Come on. Good girl. This dog loves playing fetch. Hey doggy, I got stuff to do. Could literally throw the ball to this dog all day and she never gets sick of it. I don't think a little bit of grease will hurt this shaft at all. Grease hurts much of anything besides paint. Alright. It's like the same sprocket. Yeah. Different sizes. Just a little bit. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're different sizes. I'll go a little faster with that one. I don't know. I don't know if I can get it on though. The chain's a little too short. Oh. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that on. It's almost there too. It's like almost there. Not sure what I'm going to have to do to get that on. Actually, the other one's giving me a hard time too. And the other one goes right on actually. I guess it's a decision between torque and speed. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Problem is the axle, the chain adjustment is all the way forward, so I think I'm just gonna throw this one on for now, the old one, to deal with it. Alright. Yeah, a little more speed would be nice, but these engines aren't super powerful anyway, so probably benefit more from having more torque than speed, so let's cover that. It would be funny because there's two of these four-wheelers. There's this one for the boys, and then the other one's pink for the girls. It'd actually be pretty hilarious to put the bigger sprocket on this one so this one goes faster. And then he'll always beat his sister when he rides it. It probably won't be much faster, but I think that other sprocket was like 2 teeth bigger. So he'd always beat his sister in the straightaway. We'll grab this, draw this in. I'd say that's probably about good. It doesn't have to be super tight. Oil the chain. Alright. So looks like we're ready to put all the plastic and stuff back on. Put the exhaust back on and get everything set up. So dog's ready for the ball again for the millionth and 10th time. So we'll get you put on time-lapse mode and we'll get this thing buttoned back up. Alright, there it is. It's all fixed. Thing runs really good. The only issue with it is on this new engine, the shifter is backwards. It used to be this way was forward and this way was reverse, but now this way is forward and that way is reverse. So that's something we're going to have to keep in consideration for the future. But yeah, it's all fixed. Everything runs good and works like it should. I don't want to take it too much because I don't want to get it all muddy for the customer. But yeah, pretty easy project. New motor. That's the brand of this thing, I think. Whatever brand it is, I'm not sure. But the next thing I'll do is a tear down on this old engine. I want to take this old engine apart to try to figure out what the problem was and what happened. I'm pretty sure it's because these bolts, one of these bolts was missing, and these bolts is what holds the head on. So I'm going to tear this engine down and we'll try to figure out if it is the head gasket or what actually happened to it. Well, here we are, got the old engine, so let's, I'm not sure exactly how this comes off, so let's go ahead and get this torn down and see if we could figure out what's wrong with it quick. I'm not sure exactly how all this stuff comes apart. Oh, that's pretty simple. Huh. Oh, looks like this is what holds the camshaft in. Oh yeah. Huh. Everything else has been like 8 and 10 millimeters and 9. Yeah, I know, I should have drained the oil out of it first. Oh well. Alright, here we go. Yeah, there it is, head gasket. Let me get a paper towel. Get an old paper towel so I don't have to use my new one. Yeah, there it is. There's the head gasket. This thing was knocking too. It almost sounded like a low octane knock, but it wasn't low octane fuel. Like before it broke, I heard it run several times. Yeah, that's completely broke. That crush ring there that goes around, so definitely that's the reason why it lost compression and just quit. As far as the knocking goes, I'm not sure exactly what the issue was with that. I mean, I don't really see anything out of the ordinary. So that piston's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I just think it's kind of silly that they got these little tiny studs that hold the cylinder head on. I mean, you'd think that they'd have like something better than that. And the thing is it holds the valve cover on too. So like all you got to do is just take the valve cover off to check the valve lash, and then you just kind of moved everything, and you know, but I don't see any kind of wear or anything on the camshaft. See if I can spin it here. But I don't know why it was knocking. I mean, it could have been the head gasket going for a while or something. Who knows? Oh, that turns real hard. Yeah, there's no kind of excessive wear or anything on that cam. I mean, the lobes look alright. There's no... The part that gets me is there's absolutely no lash at all in this. I'd think there'd be some kind of lash. Who knows? I mean, I'm sure there is. But there's absolutely no lash at all in these rocker arms. But, oh well. It was just cheaper. I mean, this motor was just so cheap that it was just a better option just to buy this new motor than try to buy the head gasket and then have to take it apart. And you know, someone that works on these all the time, I'm sure could do it easy, but you know, figure out how to time it again and do all that. I mean, for the price, it was just way cheaper just to buy a motor. And now there's a spare starter, you got this thing here, there's tons of spare parts, so it was totally worth it for the customer to just buy a new motor. I didn't recommend buying a new motor. They just bought a new motor and asked me to put it in, and this is what happened. So I don't want anyone to think that I would make someone buy a new motor over a head gasket, but there's a lot of thieves out there that would do stuff like that. But the customer already had the motor purchased and just asked me to put it in because that was the cheaper option. So that's what I did. But so there it is. Definitely the head gasket. As far as the knocking goes, not sure. Maybe if someone watches this that knows more about this than I do, maybe leave a comment and see what it was knocking. It wasn't like a wrist pin or anything lower end. It sounded just like a low octane knock, but these things never had low octane gas in it, I can guarantee that. So I'm not sure why it would do that. But well, as usual, I hope you enjoyed watching this video and watching this project. And until our next project, we'll see you then, and take care. Thanks for watching.